Hi folks, it's Andy. Welcome to the Kendo Show. Okay, so here we are for a very special video. I'm here with my daughter Miyabi. Say hello.
Hello.
Wave. We're here to do a, this was a request that I got on Kendo Rant to do a bit of an analytic video of her match with M.Suenaga Mari Senshu from the WKC in the quarterfinals. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it together. We're going to get her thoughts on it. If you've got any thoughts on it. And we're going to talk about it and have a little bit of a review of it. But before we do, a couple of very important things. First, like, share, subscribe. You know all the YouTube magic. Increase the Kendo population by 50 billion. All you have to do is like, share, subscribe, leave a comment using the word Kendo, okay? And YouTube sends out ninja robots, gets loads of people to start Kendo. We're pretty sure that's how it works. It's how it's been working for the last year. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. You've got to use the word Kendo. Something like, oh, what a brilliant Kendo channel. This is the best Kendo channel I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, tell them to do that.
Do it.
And then we'll increase the Kendo population, okay? More importantly than that, though, what could be more important than that is if you like this video, I'm sure you do like this video, or the other videos that I put out, they're all completely free. We don't hide them behind a paywall. There's no charges for subtitles or anything like that. All you have to do to support the channel, and here's the best news, is shop at KendoStar.com. KendoStar is the best Kendo equipment website since when? Since the beginning of the universe. Since the beginning of the universe, right?
Yeah.
It's the best Kendo equipment website ever. Of course, I'd say that because I own the place. She would say that because it helps pay for her food. So shop at KendoStar. You get the best Kendo equipment, you get the best service, and it supports this channel, okay? And everyone's a winner, all right? So that's KendoStar.com. Right. We're going to jump into this corner, and we're going to have a look at this video. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so here we are. I'll just hide us for a second. So you can see this is taken from the Kendo live streaming channel here, which was the live stream from the day. And this is the quarterfinal of the ladies individual championship between M.Fisher and M.Suenaga. Let's put this back on. So I'm here with Miyabi, and we're going to watch it. And we're going to have a bit of a look through. So until this match, you'd fought pretty well all day, hadn't you?
Yeah.
I think you've been on good form.
Mm-hmm.
How many share you done up to that point? 2 in the pools, maybe 3.
I think 3.
3 matches up
Yeah.
to then. So doing pretty well. Well. Lost a few points along the way, didn't you? Which
Yeah.
could have done without, but managed to take them back.
Yeah.
It was finally your chance to play with Mrs. Suenaga. Before we get into it, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you felt about having to do the match with Suenaga Senshu?
I mean, I've always looked up to her as a Senshu, a player, and I've always wanted to do Shiai with her and do Kendo with her, so I was obviously really nervous to do with her because at the quarterfinals and I just couldn't believe I could play with a player like that. So I was pretty much really nervous about it.
I remember when you were maybe 5 or 6 years old. Do you remember watching there was a TV documentary with her in it, right? And before she got married, when she was still called Yamamoto, and there was a TV show, wasn't there? Do you remember watching it on the TV when we lived in Japan?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, because you used to make me watch Kendo videos.
I think make you watch is a bit of an overstatement.
I was like 4.
Yeah. All right, you're giving the game away. You're giving the game away. So having said that, what did you think about like how did you you were nervous about playing with such a superstar player, someone that you looked up to since being young. But what would you say was your mindset going into it? Obviously you're nervous, but like how did you approach the match?
I was just thinking I should just do my own kendo as best as I can going into the match. Obviously I was like really nervous and stuff, but like I had to try and do my own kendo. So
still try and win, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the important.
I couldn't just like, oh, this is no, like, I can't just not try and win either, because
yeah, didn't want to give up on it.
Yeah, there's no point doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well let's have a look at the match. Okay. Okay, so there's obviously commentary on this because it's from the live stream, but hopefully it won't be too distracting. Miyabi, you're on the left side here in the white, and Suenaga Senshu is in the red. How did this feel? I've always wondered, not always wondered this, but I've wondered this since the event. Like when you step on the Shiaijo and you see her across from you, like I guess your eyes meet at that point, right?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
It's like not really like a shock. It's like another level of tension because you know it's just about to happen.
Yeah.
It's happening now, so
yeah.
it's like a wave hitting you.
Yeah.
Like of nervousness.
Yeah. So how did you sort of decide to play out the beginning of the match?
I wanted to see how it feels to fight, like just do semi and her doing semi. I wanted to see how it was like first, rather than just go in with what I'm doing and just see
sort
what
of test the water a bit.
Yeah.
I think that was the right choice. I think if you'd sort of flown in there, just I think she'd have just taken you apart straight away. Okay, so we talked about this a bit before, didn't we? At this point, so you take a shot at the men here, right?
Yeah.
I think here, right. This is just my advice for you, right? Is I think you're doing a good job of like actually applying semi. I think she's not gonna rush at you either. She knows this is the quarterfinals. This isn't something she can take for granted, and I think you're playing off that very well. I think the point at which you launch a men's strike, your feet are a little bit too far apart, which is why you can't get your body weight under you. So you can't generate any sort of power with your strike that much, and that's why your left leg kicks up a little bit. I know the floor was a little bit slippy too, but if you brought that left leg together with you, as you'd applied that semi, you'd have probably been able to make a more impactful strike here. But what so what happens is after your strike, you're slightly off balance. You see that, right? And what we talked about is Suenaga Senshu's control of that, how she receives your men. Here, you see how she turns on the spot, and immediately her feet are in the position to strike. Do you know what I mean? I think that's a real impressive thing that separated the Japanese team at the whole event from lots of the other countries. So that's something that I think is definitely a takeaway. To move forward with. But you did well here. I think. What were you thinking at this point?
I think mainly I knew she was like super strong, so I was trying to be careful, really.
But when you found yourself here,
at
this point of the Shiai, sort of on this area of the Shiaijo, what was your thought process at this point?
Well, I always have a mindset to just be in the middle of the Shiaijo or just on the bigger side. So
when you say on the bigger side, what do you mean by that?
Like the bigger side.
I know what you mean by that, but
the wider side of the Shiaijo, so it's not. I'm on the wider side. Not
Everyone's
not
gonna be like,
near
it's a
the
square.
line.
It's a square. What do you mean wider side?
Not near the line.
What you mean by that is I know what she means because I taught her this way. But what she means is that when you're stood in, unless you're stood dead in the center, this area is the wider side of the shiaijo in relation to where the players are stood. All right. So this is the narrower side or the smaller side, and this is the wider side. And to have the advantage, it's often good to place yourself on the wider side. Now, that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I found interesting with this is just my own what I noticed during the tournament, especially of M.Suenaga Sensei. Of course, I was watching her matches throughout the day because I knew that it was likely that if you played well, you'd have the chance to play against her. She often was using a little bit of the reverse of that, where she'd intentionally stand in the, shall we say, the smaller side to maybe get the opponent to play a little bit more aggressively, and then she'd switch it around on them, which I thought was really, really skilled. So this is you moving to the back to the middle. Try to have your back towards the cross in the middle. It's the right decision. Okay, so this is a good aspect here. Obviously, I don't think this was her trying to take Ippon. This is her testing your defenses. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you did the right thing by stepping forward as you block, rather than just blocking with your hands. We know that just blocking with the hands is very dangerous.
Yeah.
How did you find doing Tsubazeri with her?
She's always moving, so it's not, there's not really a chance for me to strike. That's what I felt like.
Okay.
Because she's always like moving and just like fluttering.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a really interesting thing, because what it means is like you don't like she's taken away your hikiwaza, right?
Yeah.
She's taken away your hikiwaza by leaving you feeling like you don't have a chance.
Yeah.
And if you try something, she might hit you.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? Yeah. Just goes to show how important having good game in Tsubazeri is. Something I've stressed a lot, right?
Yeah.
As we've been working towards this tournament, right, is how important it is to have game in Tsubazeri so that your opponent is always feeling under pressure from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we just say it's fair that that's how she may manage to affect you, you know. Because you did quite well with hikiwaza throughout the tournament. You're quite good at hikiwaza. But you didn't really find the chance to use it, right?
Yeah.
I think this is just from my point of view, just now we're looking this back again. The way you're using the shinai to do tseme, I think you're lifting your left hand up and down a little bit too much. Rather than, you'd be better using your sort of right hand to apply the tseme this way. I don't mean like gripping it this way, but not like this. You see what I mean? If anything, more from, do you understand what I mean? A little bit more, like the left hand's a little bit too loose. In the way that you're trying to apply the tseme. It means that if they suddenly come at you, I think you might struggle to react. And I think also it doesn't necessarily completely communicate your intention to hit. It almost looks like movement for the sake of movement. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, she like you say, she's always moving there, but then she's also looking for the chance to hit you. Yeah. Just found a good way into your kote there, and I know she didn't manage to take the ippon with it, or tried to take the ippon with it, but she at least let you know that she can hit you there, right? And that affects your mind throughout the shiai, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I think the way you're controlling the shiaijo is very good. Yeah, you're like we talked about. You're always trying to stay in the wider side. You're keeping your back to the cross. That means that the chance of you stepping out, is really, really low. Did you receive any hansoku in the tournament?
No, I don't think so. No.
I don't think you did you? I don't remember you stepping out at all, or there was nothing, right?
No.
Tsubazeri was all good, because you usually be in there, try to do hikiwaza and then get out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So good job. What I'm impressed with you is that I think you're doing a really good job of taking the match to her. Yeah, I know you're not having much chance to hit.
Yeah.
Right, I can see that, but that's fine because as we talked already, we're only 1 minute into the Shiai.
Yeah.
Right, and this is an individual match, different to the team match, right?
Yeah.
So there's no panic, there's no rush. It's a 5 minute Shiai for a start, and if you run out of time, you've got Encho, right?
Yeah.
So, but you're not sort of on the back foot to her.
Yeah.
You might not be throwing Waza out, but you are.
Yeah.
Taking the match to her, you are putting semi on her, which is good. Here, obviously, she tried to do the I got the men. Were you doing going for kote?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, kind of lucky you kind of got the Shinai stuck there, innit? Because that was a perfect chance for I got the men for her, wasn't it? So, there's something here. There's something here in the way that you are approaching her that made her realize you were aiming for kote or degote.
Yeah, I think it was mainly because I was too scared to hit her men like throughout the whole Shiai.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what
why
gave it away.
Do you think this was like were you trying to do Debana kote here?
Yeah.
You thought she was going to come for men.
Yeah.
I think that's what she was trying to get you to think. That's why she's like,
her Kensen's a bit high.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to come for men.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing to learn there.
Oh, that was because the Shinai bent.
Oh, it bent when... fair enough.
But it was fine.
It was fine, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. It's slightly dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, I think it's good you tried to do the Waza as well. So, it's all good. Look, good to get back into the fight, that's good. Now she started to get a bit more aggressive, right?
Yeah.
How was that starting to...
Yeah, well, I could tell that she was more into it, I guess. So it felt obviously more pressure. And then there's obviously like a knot in my throat and it's just like very tight. I felt really tense as I was playing.
So you're feeling more and more reluctant to try and attack her, right? So that's part of her semi, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely something we need to work on to be able to develop in our own Kendo, right? Is to put our opponents in that position rather than find ourselves in that position. It's good you found the courage to attack here.
Yeah.
I think here, I think what would be good is if going forward. I think this is good.
Yeah.
But our sort of Renzoku Waza here.
Yeah.
You've had success with this a lot in the past, right? So I don't want to kind of push down on it too hard. But where you've sort of gone men sort of thing, and the last one's found home. But here you might have had more success if you changed it up.
Yeah.
Whether it was like men kote, or even like men katsu de men, or men feint something, or do you know what I mean? Like break the rhythm a little bit. Because you definitely you had her on the back foot there, which is great. And she wasn't able to sort of respond quickly to you. She spun around like she did before, as I say. And that's the really key thing here, is this footwork here. As soon as she's around, she's ready to hit.
Yeah.
That sort of that laser accurate footwork is really something to aspire to. I think it's good. You sort of you're doing well there. So we talked about this. What do you think happened here? It's obviously a fantastic kote.
Yeah.
But why don't you tell us what you think happened?
I think it was the pressure and stuff. So I was getting more defensive as it went on. So I think she realised that. And obviously when I pulled back, my kote is all wide open. So I think she took advantage of that. But her kote felt like so perfect. It was just like...
But you say about taking advantage of that and stuff, but what do you think? What do you think you could do to avoid losing this sort of point going forward?
I guess using my footwork to, I guess, move out of that. Either move back and then use my shinai to, rather than raise my hands. I think that would be a better way to avoid that.
I think if we watch it, the point you defend, it's just your hands coming up, isn't it? So you're not using your footwork to defend here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if you'd been able to use your footwork to defend better, whether that's move backwards and defend and not pull back, but maybe more forward with the shinai, you could have even maybe tried to do like in some of the other matches. I know you scored quite a lot of like Ojiwaza against Kote, where it wasn't so much Ojiwaza, more Atoichi, where they'd attacked Kote and then you'd hit. But even then, there was a couple of dangerous points because you tend to block this way. Whereas I think if you change the way you block, not in a sort of weird way, but if we this way they can still touch your kote. We move the block into this position where they're not going to touch your kote. And then your atoichi is going to be a lot more reliable. And that might have been a chance here. But because our feet were planted, I think what happened here is, I think she did a really, really good job she let you think that your seme was being effective. Right, and you see how you start stepping forward, and she's coming back as if your seme is affecting her. And then all of a sudden, she comes forward, and like it sort of catches her by surprise. I think that's a really really interesting play. And a way of using the opponent's seme against them. Definitely something to take away from it. Beautiful kote. How disappointed do you look? This is good though. This is good where as she comes in, you've got you're looking to hit as well. I'm very happy with the way you're controlling the shiaijo. You see how when she makes that kote strike, you see how her left foot carries her, and she's not doing anything weird. She's not, her hips aren't open like this, and her feet are really underneath her. So that if you were to move back or whatever, there's a good chance another strike's coming, Well, this is the same thing here. Yeah. That was beautiful, wasn't it? Okay, so this is a bit of a similar thing here. She's sort of put you under a false sense of security by coming back this way, and then she's sort of come in and she's raised as if she's going to block. Now, because because of your lack of experience, you sort of threw a men at her, which was kind of a bit half-hearted as well. Right. So it gave her the chance to do this brilliant Tsuruage men. Absolutely brilliant. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, because I kind of stopped after I saw she was blocking. So I kind of gave up on it.
Yeah.
And that made me relax,
Yeah.
which gave her a chance to hit.
So the thing is here is, and this is yeah. I mean, it's an excellently executed waza from her, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think the way she set that up is she's really encouraged you to come at her men by withdrawing.
Yeah.
And then when you launched, I'm just blocking.
Yeah.
So you kind of stopped ready to go to Super Zodiac, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was
That's
doing.
the idea. Yeah.
Like...
And she's gone, bum. Which is I mean, it's fantastic in terms of skill level. Did you feel it when she hit you? You felt it?
Yeah.
You knew it was Ippon, right?
Yeah. I was like, look at me, just like, I'm like...
And there we go, and that's the end of the Shiai. So look, what do you give us your sort of final thoughts on your match, and then I'll give you a little bit of a summary.
Yeah, well, to be honest, at that time I thought that I did really, really bad during that Shiai. I thought it was worse than it looked. I looked back on it after, and it wasn't as bad as I thought, which I was a bit relieved about. I didn't like just embarrass myself in front of the world. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to fight that match. I'm glad I got to that point. And it's just, there's a lot to learn from just that match, and I'm really glad I was able to do that.
I think you know, look, you're never going to embarrass yourself when you get to the quarterfinals of the World Championships, right? And it is a, you know, you could have gone out there and lost in 30 seconds and no one would have thought you're an embarrassment. I think you fought the match very, very well, given your experience and your age. Yeah, you're 16 years old. So to go out there on the World Championship stage, I think the way you fought the match against such an experienced and decorated player as M.Suenaga Senshu, and especially someone who you'd sort of always been looking up to, I think you did a very, very good job. There's a clear and obvious difference in the skill level and experience level between you and her. And there was no point in the match where you almost won. You know, let's not get carried away. I'm happy the way you fought it, but let's not be delusional and think that you nearly won it or something like that, because you didn't. It was very, very one-sided. Which is to be expected, and just going in there and rising to the challenge is commendable. But going forward, we've got 3 years now till the next one, to kind of try and bring yourself closer to that level. And to do that, it's going to take not just training and commitment, but study. If you look at the way that she is applying her semi, using your semi against you, I thought that was a really interesting aspect of this Shiai. She wasn't just overpowering with you with semi and then hitting you. That's one way to win, right? But what she's doing is she's letting you think that you're doing that, and then she's flipping the table, you know, which is really, really interesting. And obviously from a technical point of view as well, you know, sharpening up that footwork, having that stronger core, making sure that we're able to strike at any point, and that we're not just sort of randomly attacking. But that's going to come with training and experience, really, I think. And as I say, study. Okay. So there we go. That is the end of the show. We've watched the match. This is what was requested of us. How did you find doing this kind of video for the first time?
I was nervous.
You're nervous?
I mean, I did like an interview at the Worlds before, on the day, I think it was, after the closing ceremony, and I was nervous then, and I was told like, oh, you're good at this, but like I still have like a nervousness inside me, because I'm not used to doing this. I don't do this all the time, even though you do it. Like, I'm not used to it at all, so I was nervous doing this.
You did a good job. Okay, so that's it, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to shop at KendoStar, and See you next time. Bye bye.